But I first visited this beautiful country and this beautiful city 24 years ago. It was the year 2000, right? I was in London and I'd just finished university and I started dating a girl. I was starting to fall in love with her. We'd been dating for a few months and she said to me, she was from this place, New Brunswick. I'd never heard of New Brunswick before. She told me she was from this place, and after a few months of dating, she said, "You should come to Canada for Christmas and meet my family." And I said, I'd love to. And she said, okay. She said, "I'll just go home first and warn them what you're like. And you come a few days later," right? So I said, perfect, fine, right? So she flew back, right? She told me she lived in this place, St. John, lovely jubbly, sweet as a nut, right? She flew home, I booked a flight, right? Flew in, 19th of December, year 2000, right? Flew in, got to the airport, I flew her. I said, I'm here. And she says, "I can't see you." And it's a pretty bloody small airport. I was in St. John's. I know! Why are there two places with almost identical names? To fuck with English people. Now, at the time and for many years afterwards, I was completely mortified by this. Not anymore, because you know what? They do it on purpose. Right? It happens all the time, right? I'm sure you heard about this last year. A football team, a whole soccer team, right? They were supposed to be flying into St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador for a soccer tournament. 20 of them, a whole team, their coaches, they flew in, right? They came to St. John, New Brunswick instead. Right? And they're like, why the fuck? I was at Montreal Airport a few weeks ago at the gate for St. John, New Brunswick, because you don't make that mistake twice. I'm at the gate and the voice comes on the loudspeaker. It says, "If you're flying to St. John, New Brunswick, the flight leaves in 10 minutes, but if you're flying to St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, the gate's at the opposite end of the airport." 15 people got up and started running. They do it on purpose. You know how I know they do it on purpose? You know when you go on the Googles, right? You know when you go on the Googles, right, and you type something in, right, and you misspell it, or you type the wrong thing, right, the Googles, it goes, "Are you sure you mean? Did you mean?" Right? You know full well that at some point, someone in the technical department or web department at Air Canada has said, "Oi, boss, should we add a little feature when someone types in St. John? Should we put, "Are you sure you mean? Did you mean?" And some evil millionaire CEO has gone, "No fucking way." Think of the money, right? It's totally deliberate. It keeps happening. It happens so often. I now, because I've written about this in my book and I've talked about it on stage, I now cannot go into St. John Airport without someone who works there running over to tell me of the most recent instance of this occurring. Every time. That's how common it is. That's how frequent it happens. And it could be anyone. It could be someone from Air Canada. It could be someone in the cafe. Look, last time I went to pick up my wife a few weeks ago. Worryingly, it was the guy that's supposed to be sat there watching the X-ray machine. Right, all the bags were going through. There's only one person doing it, right? One gate, small airport. Right? It's just going through. He's like, "Yeah, what's that? A rifle? Yeah, no problem. What's that? Yeah. Looks like a bag of white powder, no problem, probably flour, right? He sees me, right, walk in, and he's like, "Oh, fuck this, James! Just leaves it, right? People are just walking through, just leaves it." Which very quickly, in brackets, I will say, does actually explain why my favourite news story of all time happened. Does anyone remember this? About 12 years ago. You can Google it. CBC, it was on CBC. A lady, she arrived in Mexico, right, at Cancun, right? She gets into Cancun. As she's coming through the airport, they open up her hand luggage bag because it's been flagged as an issue. Caitlin remembers this, yeah, right? They open up her hand luggage. Inside, sleeping, is her cat. Her cat has been sleeping in the bag the whole time. And of course, there in Mexico at the airport, they're like, how on earth did you get a cat through security? She's like, "I flew out of St. John Airport." They went, So there I am, right? There I am. I'm trying to drop my wife off. And he sees me. He's like, James! And I know what it's going to be. It's always the same thing. It's never not this, right? It's never not. No one ever shouts my name and it's something else at the airport. It's always, I know, but I play along, right? He's like, James! James! So he's just leaving all the guns and the bombs going through. James! James, the cat! Meow! James, and I'm going, what? And he's going, James, and he gets to me and he goes, we had another one last night. He goes, this arrogant British bastard got off the plane, right? He's swanning through the airport like he owns the place, comes out, taxi to George Street, wrong province, motherfucker! It's beautiful. See, it's on purpose. They do it on purpose.